Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. It has been a while since I have done something a little bit lighter, a little bit fun, and just sit down and have a good time together while also laughing at people's absolute ridiculousness and absurdity. And so today I wanted to do that. I wanted to have a dive into this Instagram account that I have followed for years, I believe courtesy of Curtis Connor from a video he did in like 2019 or something. And that is Beam Me Up Soft Boy. Basically, this account just uploads submissions from people who have sent their interactions with typically men on like dating profiles or in their DMs, and they just say the most absurd things. And I really wanted to have a look into it and just sit here and gape at some of the ridiculous things that are being said. But before we do get into it, I would like to take a moment to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Natasha. I appreciate you and your support so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/SavvyCat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month and I appreciate it greatly. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into some things that soft boys say. This is a text conversation that goes, "You're autistic? Would never have guessed that. I'm pretty open about it. I think I'm on the spectrum too, to be honest. But babe, I wouldn't have thought you were. I'm not trying to be a twat or patronize you in any way. Is it weird that I've masturbated over you 3 times? From 0 to 100, real quick, I'm not even gonna say it. No, it wasn't at 0 to start with, really, was it? That was such a massive shift. And the fact there's not even like a gap between these messages, like no time has passed. That was one thought after another. Are they meant to be related? I don't see the correlation here. Everything about this interaction is just so absurd. Invalidating autism. And then straight out with that. Okay, wow, dude, chill out, calm down a little bit. Maybe at least wait for the conversation to turn into that instead of just like jumping on. Although, you know what? It wasn't gonna end up there based on the being like, you don't seem autistic. I think I am though. Like that's never gonna go well. We're never gonna get anywhere with that conversation. And like, don't just straight up tell people you've masturbated over them 3 times. That's just like not a cool thing to say. Outside of correct context, which this is not, chill out. Go take a cold shower. My God. This is another text from someone that just says, "The guy who tried shooting Donald Trump had me thinking about how I missed my shot with you." You know what? What a line. What a line. It's like, he missed his shot. I'm not gonna miss mine. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it. It's creative. I'll tell you that. You know what? I feel like it would be kind of effective in the sense that like it would definitely get a response of some sort because like that's objectively hilarious. This is on Bumble, and someone had a prompt, "What's a song lyric you identify with?" And they replied, "Last night I got a piece of razor blade stuck in my eye and I still made it to the gym this morning by 9 a.m. Wow, which song is that from? It's not from a song. I ignored your prompt. Bro, go to the hospital." Oh my God. What was the purpose in sharing that? Why did we feel the need to share that? Like, are we trying to make you seem tough? Are you like, look how strong I am. I got a piece of razor blade in my eye and then I went to the gym. That to me, that's not impressing me. That's concerning me greatly. I have so many questions. First of all, how, I don't want to think too deeply about it because I will picture it and then I will become very uncomfortable because things with eyeballs freak me out, hate it. So I'm going to like just try not to think about it. But how did you get like a piece of a razor blade? Like I imagine it would have gotten into your eye purely by like, you know, when you snap something, pieces fly off of it, right? So I guess that's how a piece of it would end up. But how did you snap it? And why? What were you doing that meant you were breaking razor blades? And also, Go to the hospital. Don't go to the gym. That's not a flex. That's deeply concerning. And I immediately don't really want to continue this conversation because I'm scared. Maybe I would. Maybe I would ask, how did that happen? And then I would be like, fucking hell, goodbye. Blocked. Someone sent an excuse for why he wanted to send dick pics. And it says, I have body dysmorphia, so for me to be proud of any part of my body is a miracle. Haha. I love just coming up with excuses to send dick pics. Like, why? I will never understand dick pics in general. I don't get it. I don't know anyone who enjoys receiving those. If you're gonna take nudes, put some effort into it. What am I gonna do with a photo of your dick? You know, like, I just don't, I just don't get it. And especially when it's not wanted. Being like, I have body dysmorphia. It's a miracle that I'm proud of something and want to show you. But what are you gaining? If you send it, does that mean, are you only doing it because you expect something in return? I'm imagining that's what this is. It's like guilting into it, being like, I'm proud of it. I want to show you because I have body dysmorphia. And then you do. And then you're like, okay, now it's your turn. I sent you something. Why aren't you sending me something? It's not going to work. It's not going to fly. No one wants your dick pic. If you have body dysmorphia, I'm very sorry. It's a terrible thing and it sucks. However, not an excuse to sexually harass people. So, I mean, at least he asked first though, right? He didn't just send it immediately. Although, actually, he sent them anyway. So... If you're gonna send nude photos, put some effort in and take some actual nice photos. I don't know any, like, women who send, like, vulva photos because why? I don't get it. And I'm sure you would be confused receiving that too. But yet, here's another, some more texts from a man that say, hey, sorry to hear about your grandma. I'm here to talk if you want. Angel emoji. But also, you said you would send tits a couple days ago and you never did. But it's okay, I get it, you have a lot going on. Just when you get the chance. Heart emoji. It's so funny. It's so funny because, like, I relate to not to the messages that were sent, but you know that thing where it's like you really want to ask someone something that, like, you've forgotten or you want to bring something up, but they've, like, just sent a text and you haven't replied to it yet. So, like, you're like, oh my God, there's something I want to say to this person, but I can't send that now because they've sent another text and I haven't responded to it. So you have to, like, reply to that text, what they've asked, and then be like, okay, well, now my thing is kind of irrelevant, but I need to ask now before I forget. So you, like, send something being like, oh yeah, that sounds great, blah, blah, blah. And also, other irrelevant thing that's been on your mind. Such a struggle, so real. However, in this instance, not urgent, but at all. And just maybe leave it. I just love that obviously he didn't care about her grandma dying or anything at all. He just knew he wanted boob photos and was like, well, I can't just go ask while she's, like, immediately grieving. So I have to at least acknowledge that that happened and then I can ask. Dude, bro, no. Go look at boobs on the internet instead while you wait, all right? Or some old photos. If old photos have been sent, you're fine. I don't understand. We talked about it with the dick pic just a second ago, but I just don't get it. And, you know, maybe it's this asexuality, gray sexuality, or whatever I have going on, but it's boobs, you know? They kind of look the same every day. They don't really change very much. So, like, if old photos have been sent, what's different about an old photo and a new photo? You know, like, I don't get it. I also, like, don't get off on photos though, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Either way though, chill. Some more texts. Most of these are texts. I'm just gonna say when they're not texts, I think. I still love you even if you hate me. I'd do anything to go back in time and just start over. You were the best thing I ever had, and I was a fool for not fighting for us harder. You were always too good for me. Can you give me another chance? I miss you. Can you send me a photo of your boobs? Do you miss her or do you miss her boobs? Those are very separate things. Also, just to note, in general, this is a rule for everyone here. If he says you're too good for him, he's right. Sometimes that is used as like a manipulation tactic, you know, they like hurt you or whatever and they're like, you're too good for me, you should break up with me. Like that is a manipulation tactic and they want you to be like, no, no, blah, blah. So like if they're saying that to you and that's like a regular occurrence, especially when you're like upset with them, it's better to leave. Speaking from experience. This text, I always find it so funny and like so validating and also like embarrassing and a bunch of other things when I read messages like this, because like I swear that this is like exactly how my ex used to talk to me, my abuser, which is why I kind of went into that being a problem. And I swear this is like an exact, like this could have been screenshot from our conversations, to be honest. It's like so ridiculous to look back on. Because I sit here and I read these and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. This is so funny and stupid and manipulative and it's absurd. And I wish I knew that more so at the time. Want to play Titanic? I'll be the ship and you can be the iceberg I go down on. Whenever I read this pickup line, all I can see in my head is Michael Clifford from Five Sauce. And I hear it so perfectly because back in an interview they did in like, I'm going to say 2014 probably, they all asked to go down the line and say pickup lines. And he was like, want to play Titanic? You be iceberg, I go down.
Let's play Titanic. You be iceberg and I'll go down.
And I was obsessed with that interview as a teenager. I was obsessed with them and that clip was like everywhere for like 2 years. It came up all the time. It was all over Instagram regularly and I remember most of their answers and it's so funny because whenever I read this I'm like it's just such a hilarious pickup line. It would absolutely get a laugh out of me. That's the thing about these cheesy pickup lines, right? Is like, are they effective in being like seductive and attractive? Not at all. Other than the fact they're absolutely hilarious. So depending on the way you say them and the intention in which you say them with, they could work. If you're saying them ironically, you have my attention. If you're saying them like deadpan, I'm laughing at you, not with you. This is Instagram DM. Boobs in my mouth. Please, please, please. Hello? You're nothing. Whoa. I don't know what to say to that. Really? What do you say to that? You get that in your DMs, what do you say? Nothing. You just look at it and you laugh and you take a screenshot and you DM it to Beam Me Up Softboy and tell them to post it on Instagram because that's all you can do. I always do wonder what they think is going to come out of sending messages like this. Like, what do you think is going to be the end result? Sorry for your loss. I didn't know. Thank you. Who was it, if you don't mind me asking? My uncle. Horrific. I keep having dreams about shagging you. You don't need to share that. Some things you can keep to yourself. You don't actually have to share every thought that you have. They can just like stay with you. Just thought I would let you know that telling people, especially people who you seemingly don't have a strong relationship with, that you have sex dreams about them, it's quite inappropriate. We don't do that. That is sexual harassment, especially when the messages preceding it are about their dead family member. It's just not particularly appropriate, is it? What's that? I'm a man and think about fighting constantly. Physical. Although intellectually and mentally, I know these are forms too. Honestly, I feel like some women aren't used to that. I tried to be like everyone else years ago, but deep down felt demusculated. Now I'm myself, strong wherever I go and people notice. Puts me somewhere between a god and an animal. Sometimes acting as one, sometimes the other. I know I have what you need. I think this is from a dating app, but I don't know which dating app. And I don't particularly think that matters. I just need to say, Some people really like to just like hold the red flag and wave it around, right? Like they are just dressed as a giant red flag. They're wearing a red flag as a cape. They're holding one in each hand. Like, they're just out here doing a little dance with all their red flags because what did you just say? I am a man and I think about fighting constantly. When I'm not picking fights, I feel demusculated. If you only feel like yourself when you are showing aggression and fighting, you need therapy and to be away from people. And viewing yourself as somewhere between a god and an animal is hilarious because I think a lot of people, that's what people class like humans as. So you kind of just explained that you feel like a person, which is hilarious. If you're only yourself when you're fighting, is that when you're a person? Like you're a person when you fight and then other times you're an animal and other times I have questions. I don't think I want them answered, but like that is one good thing about the internet and apps like this and whatever, right? Is that you can ask these questions without actually having any intention of moving further along. The only issue, I suppose, is when they're like proximity based and this person's like in your general area. It's like they're 1 kilometer away from you. It's like, okay, well, I don't really want to talk to them and have this conversation and then block them because this man is scary and I might run into him because we live close together and he knows what I look like. But other than that, you know, if they like slide into your DMs on Instagram and they live in like a different country or whatever, like I say, ask all the questions and then give them a hard block. I say this, but I never do reply to these. I do just look at them and laugh at them. That's because I'm scared and anxious. But you know, I think I support people asking these questions when they are not putting themselves in danger because I want answers. So this is a Hinge prompt that says, dating me is like, and this guy wrote, getting the love you never could from your father. It's an insane thing to say. I don't think it's putting your best foot forward if the way you're trying to date women is by comparing yourself to their father. Just preying on daddy issues here. That's wild. That's pretty bold, really. I personally don't think we should be comparing romantic love to parental love. And I think implying that you're going to fill the spot of a father is really, really strange. Just me personally. Don't vibe with it. Really weird thing to put on your profile. I was abandoned as a child. I learned social skills to survive early. My profession indicates that I am an extrovert, but that is not true. Actually, I should have been born in 1890, so I could have been 30 in Paris in 1920. That would have suited me. And if we dwell into any kind of analysis, my most recent book was described as intellectual. So I guess that means A, I think too much, or more than the average bear. B, non-intellectuals probably can't understand a word I say. And C, I'm severely out of step with people who only live on their phones, ghosting friends with the delete key, rather than learning empathy and patience. Maybe I am wrong, after all. Scandalous intellectual. What could I know? I don't know where this is written or what this is from, but bro, take a breather, okay? We get it. You're not like the other boys. But the superiority complex we need to bring it back just a little bit. You are not the most brilliant and intelligent person in the world because you read a book that people call intellectual. It's just... and also, red flag every time a man says that they should have been born in like 100 years ago, big red flag. What was so good about the early 20th century that means you should have lived there? Because me personally, as a woman, that is not a time that appeals to me. And any man who romanticizes that time and wants to have been at that time and is using that to try to attract partners, I'm side-eyeing you. I'm side-eyeing you so hard. I love as well the romanticization of that sort of period and like the early 1900s and before that as being like everyone was so much more intelligent then purely because they didn't have phones. Like that's what people are basing this off of, is that people read books and they weren't always on Twitter all the time. Like just like you aren't better than me for having lower screen time, okay? Hey, sorry to break no contact, but remember how I wanted to get into psychology? I got accepted into the school and our first assignment is to study the behavioral features of someone we know. If I learned one thing from our relationship, it's that you're beyond saving. And I just know you would get me an A+. Maybe even get me the best grade in the entire college in valedictorian. Could we meet up sometime for a coffee so I could interview you? Thanks. Just came for her so hard. Oh my god, bro, what a message to send. Oh my god. That like level of, I don't know the correct word. I can't think of a word right now. It's not pettiness, but it's not pettiness. It's that level of just like drag it's unmatched. That's pretty impressive actually. Being like, I've got my shit sorted. I wanted to go in psychology and I have, and like, you're real fucked up. You know, like, you're so fucked up that like you'd get me a grade, and like an A+ grade, best in the whole college because of how fucked up you are. And if I can analyze your brain, then I'm the best psychology student ever. I can't imagine how I would respond to getting something like this. Like, I wouldn't reply, but like, I would just sit there so shocked, just like, I mean, you got me. You got me there, all right? And then I would send it to like literally everyone I know and laugh at it because, oh, I can't lie, you sexy as fuck. Thank you. I go to jail Monday, but I got 3 days to turn up. Oh wow, for how long? 8 years? What did you do? Attempt murder? What you doing? And we thought this was gonna work. How? Like, you didn't have to share that. You could just say you were going away for a while. You're moving. You're like moving to a different country. Coming in and trying to hook up with someone by telling them you're going to jail for attempted murder is wild. And the more wild part about this is that this has happened to my mother. We were talking about like dating apps or whatever one time, and she told me this story about this guy she met up with from Tinder. The first date they went on, and the only date they went on, and this man thought it was completely appropriate to like complain about his ex-wife, but not just complain about his ex-wife, but be like, yeah, she's so crazy, you know, she's pressing like criminal charges against me for rape and attempted murder. And my mom was like, what? Hold on. What happened? And he straight up is just like, yeah, I had sex with her while she was asleep. I don't remember what the attempted murder charge was. I don't know if my mom even told me, but he brought that up on a first date and was like, yeah, I'm facing criminal charges, possible jail time because my wife is overreacting and she's crazy. I wonder why you're not having any luck on dating apps. Good God. How do you just drop that casually and think that's a normal conversation and that's going to get you a second date? That's insane. Some people are just like actually fucking insane. Oh my God, bro. But you know, it's better to get it out of the way immediately. Like, I'm glad that he told this to my mom on the first date because it meant she didn't go on a second date. Because, you know, if you keep that information hidden, that's bad later on, right? Do you have a girlfriend? Sigh, no. I've been told that I'm too sweet and caring and nice, but I don't know. I honestly just try to be me. And then sent a PNG emoticon from Google, but it's still got the like checkered background and it's like a little side smirk blushy face. And that's just like the cherry on top of this. That's so good. I haven't seen like the Google emoticons used in a really long time, and I've never seen them used in a text like this. Like, you're like, there's no emoji for the face that I want right now, so I'm gonna have to Google an emoticon and I'm gonna use that to get it across. Like, that's glorious. That's beautiful, actually. The rest of the messages, no one said that. No one said that. Don't lie. It's so funny too, because like advertising yourself as being too nice is now read very much as you advertising yourself as being an incel. If people are genuinely uninterested or breaking up with you because you're too nice, it's because nice is your only personality trait. You have to like have other things that you bring to the table other than just being nice, you know? Like, nice is like bare minimum. There should be other aspects to your personality, because niceness and only niceness feels very much like a front. And a lot of the time, it is. This is responding to someone's photo on, I think, Tinder, saying, "You look like you're waiting for a 6'5" Chad." What does this mean? Haha, help me out here. I mean, I'd clearly not be the type of guy you're looking for. You look like you only date tall, shredded dudes. Oof, big assumptions there. You actually couldn't be further from the truth. Haha, shit, if that's the case, I feel like I need to switch up my profile. I don't know, I just see a bikini picture and I'm like, yeah, she probably wants a tall, shirtless dude with abs. Guess I felt kind of bummed out because I think you're cute. Bro, she matched with you. What are you doing? You're rejecting yourself before you even try. She literally matched with you. Why would you then go and be like, you're not interested in me. You look like you'd like people who are hotter than me. It's like, she clearly was interested in you and thought you were attractive enough to match with. So I don't know what you're on here. Is this like the equivalent of, only taking ugly selfies because if you're trying to look ugly, then no picture is bad? It kind of feels like that. It's like rejecting yourself so you can't be rejected. But if you do that, you're never, it's never gonna work and you're never gonna not be rejected. I'm also obsessed with just like, you look like you'd like tall, shirtless guys with abs. Like specifically, you'll only date men who never wear shirts. Hilarious. I love that that's its own separate thing. And I love that this entire point was purely because she posted a bikini photo. Work on your insecurities, and then try again later and stop projecting. Someone replied to someone's Snapchat photo saying, "Your tits are huge, never kill yourself." I mean, do never kill yourself. That's a good thing to not do. I don't think the 2 points are related. Having that as the reason to live, just being like, you have huge tits, that's a good enough reason to be alive. That's so funny. This is another Hinge message, I believe, and it reads, "You seemed cool at a glance, but your oppressed oppressor woke narrative mindset is not. And of course, gotta be queer. Curious, what happens when everyone gets their land back? Where do we all go back to? Think harder." I love when they feel the need to reply and say this. They're like, you look pretty, but like, I don't fuck with your politics. And I think they're really dumb. It's like, just scroll on. You don't need to reply. You don't need to like comment on my politics because you think that I'm attractive. I'm sorry that my appearance doesn't match with what you want my beliefs to be, but like, that's not my concern. Just carry on. No one's gonna use their dating profile to take the time to explain to you how these things work because it's not the intention. So just carry on, okay? The beginning of this message is cut off, but someone messages this guy saying, "Melatonin tablets work well, but I can't get them in this country as the NHS only prescribe it to babies and old people. So I get my buddy who lives in Washington to bring lots over when he visits." And this man replied, "God, it's worrying that the first thing I think is that I should get access to a supply of melatonin so that I can make you dependent on me." Yeah, it is a bit worrying. You're right. That is worrying. What prompted you to say that? What went through your head that made you be like, what a good thing to say would be? Is that I want to manipulate you and make you reliant on me through drugs. What? The red flag has never been bigger. Oh my God. That is horrifying. That should not be your first thought, and it's definitely not a thought that you should voice to anyone other than a therapist. What the fuck, bro? In what world did you think that this was like a good and funny thing to say? Did you think that the response was going to be like, haha, that's so funny? Like, no, that's going to get you reported because, Also, a side note, I didn't know you couldn't get melatonin here. That's so odd. You have to get prescribed melatonin? That's not an over-the-counter thing? I didn't realize that. I suppose I haven't seen it, so I guess that makes sense, but that's interesting. I didn't realize it was a prescribed thing. This is an Instagram comment. I have no idea what this is commenting on, but I also don't particularly think that that matters. Therefore, I feel it is up to women to help us men out. You are the only ones to help men through this difficult era. Whenever a man wishes to have sex with you, please remember that the majority are not out there to take advantage of you, but instead just wish to fulfill their natural impulses that rise within them. You are the ones who will save humanity from going under. You are the people who can make males healthy again. This will require bravery from you. It must be a very scary experience to allow a man to place part of himself deep inside you. If you can accept that it won't be easy and may be scary for the sake of helping out a man who can help out other men for the benefit of the human race, then you deserve as much respect. Dude, what? What did I just read? Women have to have sex with men whenever they want, and it's not to take advantage of you, it's just because it's healing somehow. You know, if all men need is sex, and they don't require the emotional connection or anything at all, just have sex with each other. Like, it's really a simple solution. Just like, if you need to have sex that often, and that's like something that all men have, and you don't view it as something that's like that important or anything at all, just go be having sex with each other. I feel like that would solve a lot of issues. Like, it doesn't have to be with women. Just putting that out there. Women don't owe you shit. If the only thing that is going to make you be a good person is having sex, you are not a good person. This has been Beam Me Up Soft Boy. What a fun little Instagram page that exists. I hope that you have enjoyed this absolute absurdity. Let me know if you want me to make another one of these. It is a fun page to dig through, and I haven't made one before, I don't think, so I've got years worth of content I can go through. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you so much. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons, Michaela, Natasha, Lady Nutbar, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Samuel, Chris, Elias, Danielle, Eldo, Jessica, Ikazel, Mandy, Josh, and Bobby. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos early, and then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
When you close your eyes, you replace the darkness with light. You replace